wrapping up hour one. If you're not going to make hour two because your affiliate doesn't carry hour two, trust me, hour two is always more fun on Implicit Bias. But hour one is fantastic, and you don't want to miss it. If you did miss anything, find us on our socials. Wherever you get podcasts, please like, subscribe, follow. It helps the show. It helps us to make sure that everyone knows about your Implicit Bias. I'm Kevon Bordelon. We've got a great crew here in the Top Secret Podcast Lair. That's crew with a K. At the bar, what are you two whispering about at the bar? Stop whispering sweet nothings into Grant's ear, Renee.
I'm telling him how to line up the whiskey so we can get good video of it.
Because you know.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. That's
the way Tug had set it up. I'm trying to set it back.
That is Louisiana's only certified master tobacconist, Renee Girard. We're going to talk about a stogie in hour two. Sitting next to him, you could say suffering him, is Grant Galatas of William S. Nate Cole Jewelers. I'm just picking, Renee. I'm just picking.
I'm not drunkle yet.
Notice he said yet.
It
Life
could
goals.
happen. It could happen.
Life goals, absolutely. In the corner, he is the Implicit Bias Pledge. His nickname is Better Off Dead. He is Walker Griffon. We also have Caleb Morse, the Rustic Renegade, in the Mr. Lester Steakhouse Top Secret Podcast Lair. So let's wrap up hour one as we continue this conversation about appointments that we like and appointments that we don't like. So, Grant, we were kind of going down that rabbit hole of really liking the premise of the Department of Governmental Efficiency. I'll tell you one of the reasons I like it. I like it because Elon Musk will not approach government as government. He has already said, and he's on the record saying, I believe that I can trim $2 trillion from the governmental budget.
Well, and look, he's going to approach it from the business point of view, and Vivek is going to do a really good job with him as well. Because when you think about the government, nothing efficient comes to mind. As a veteran, if you use the VA, you know that government efficiency does not exist. As a service member, you know that government efficiency does not exist. If you've ever suffered the Department of Motor Vehicles,
correct,
you know that efficiency does not exist. If we can have a government that's 10% more efficient, that spends our money 10% more efficiently and effectively, imagine the impact it would have. Imagine how proud we would be to be Americans again. Imagine the gratefulness we would have just to have the government there. If it was 10% more efficient than I almost said some stuff.
No, let's pretend for a minute that the government actually cares about the money that's in your pocket, in our pocket.
Well, I can't do that.
Let's pretend for a second, because the way that this is supposed to work is that the government collects taxes and fees and penalties and all this, and that is the budget they have to spend. So in theory, if you cut $2 trillion from the government's budget, where could that $2 trillion go back to?
The people.
Wait, what?
The people.
Or it could go back to pay our debt that we're paying more interest than we have loan for.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as government excess. There is government overspending your money.
Well, and it's one of the things that Vivek had said early on. He intended to cut 75% of the government payroll. Now, that's a lot of people.
You could automate so much of that.
Well, I mean, and there's departments that shouldn't exist to start with.
Correct. Well, okay, so let's
ATF.
So let's talk about this one.
Education. Every state has an education.
Ring the bell.
Every
Education.
state has an education department. Why do we need a federal department to do that?
We don't. And therein lies the point. As a matter of fact, there is significant proof that the U.S. Department of Education has done nothing but screw up education in the U.S.
You mean since 1970 we've gotten dumber?
The U.S. Department of Education, when it was started by Jimmy Carter, education in the United States was number one in the world. Anybody know what it is today?
I can't math.
Probably, yeah.
Counting is not mathing.
Yes. I would say probably about 30th.
Grant, you want to take a guess?
No, that's...
Walker, can you count that high?
Somewhere in the triple figures.
It's not triple digits. We're not quite that bad. 24th.
That was close.
24th.
You know, another department that we could get rid of is DEQ or EPA.
Yeah.
Every state has its own Department of Environmental Quality or whatever name they're going to call it.
So-
but we have all of that.
Renee, help me here, because you have the Environmental Protection Agency,
Right.
which would lead you to believe that they're there to do what? Protect the environment.
Right.
No, they're there to
But then-
they're there to tax you in other ways.
Hold on. But then you've also got the Department of Environmental Quality, DEQ.
That's state. That's in Louisiana. It's the DEQ.
But they both are there to ensure the quality.
Of the
Environment.
environment. Yes. Every state has their own department.
So what you're telling me is that we're looking at like a federalist system where you've got a small central government and lets the states where the votes matter the most make their own decisions. Is that what you're telling me that we're potentially looking at here?
Yes. That's what we
Sounds-
should have.
Sounds so amazing.
Isn't that the way this was all designed in the first damn place?
State,
I mean,
states'
seriously.
rights. We have
Yep.
states' rights again.
Y'all, I'm excited because this is winning for everybody, because when the vote goes back to the state, it matters more. Your 1 in 4 million vote in Louisiana actually has more value than your 1 in 170 million votes nationally. I know math is hard for some people. I get it. It's not easy all the way around. But 1 in 4 million is a bigger number than 1 in 170 million. It's just the way it works.
All right, look. This is the beauty of the second Trump administration. The first administration, he was tied down for 3.5 good years trying to debunk the Russia collusion. Now what you have is three outsiders. You have Vivek, Elon, and Trump, all businessmen, all very successful businessmen, who are going to pull the curtain back and look at all of this and see how it's done, and just start hammering it.
We hope.
Yeah,
We hope.
in theory, but it sounds like a really good theory, and with the trifecta, with the House and the Senate and everything, hopefully at least something can be made to turn it around just a little.
And at least so far, what we have seen is that promises that were made, it seems like they want to be kept. I mean, when you do announce RFK Jr. as the Director of Health and Human Services, you know there are people in the DHHS that are absolutely flipping out right now.
Oh, you
I
know
mean,
they're all-
losing their minds.
they won't be able to put toxins in our food anymore. No more fluoride in the water. We can't dumb down America by poisoning them. Oh my God.
And by the way, we covered that on the show. If you want to go back and find that, where we talk about fluoride and what has actually now been recognized with fluoride is that it actually has been correlated.
0.002 points per million. I think
Yeah,
was
it's been
the-
correlated with a lower IQ with regards to the populace. It's crazy when you look back and go, what has our government done to us since 1970? Go ahead, Grant. You want to chime in? I see.
I'm sorry. I took a picture off the TV today of some of the spending that was done in 2023 to the tune of almost $10 million. Would you like to just hear a few?
Well, Walker gave us the finger. Specifically, he gave you the finger. He told me we have 1 minute left.
Okay.
We're going to come back in hour 2. Yes, we will talk about that in hour 2. We will talk about the fact that lawmakers came out and said between now and inauguration, we're going to funnel every penny we can outside of the country. We're going to talk about people who are upset, who are maybe not quite so bright because they're going to go on strike for something that is going to basically create the situation that they're striking against. We're going to do all that. We're going to have some more weekly whiskey when we come back on Implicit Bias.